Counselors, welcome to the Counselor's Office. I'm Mr. Gaming Counselor. We're talking about Marathon. That's right. They just released today a Vidoc, and we're going to watch it. And I'm already seeing Bungie shills out on patrol, desperately trying to hype this game up. I just want to remind everyone, they did the same thing before the alpha was released. And then the main gaming community saw the alpha and was like, no, even before the art theft allegations. But here we are again. Be careful. Don't get gaslighted. It is mostly the Destiny content creators and the community. I have yet to see very few people from the actual extraction community actually truly excited, at least online. As someone who actually played the version of the alpha that I played, I'm still not convinced. I was convinced to buy Arc Raiders, not convinced to buy Marathon or even, give a shit about it in that regard. However, I will say, whenever they do the open play session, absolutely, if you're on the fence, give it a try, test it out, give it a feel. I think that's going to be the real test is for the gaming community to really try the open alpha or whatever the hell it's supposed to be called, the beta, whatever the public testing is. That's going to be the real key, because if you can't buy in and bring in the outer, we talk about Destiny 2 players and the Bungie shills, and they love to call people grifters for saying Marathon's bad. And ironically, they are the grifters, because Marathon is an attraction shooter and Destiny is not. So it's a bunch of grifters trying to co-op another game as if, hey, this is our game. Bitch, it's not your game. So this is meant for people not playing Destiny. It is meant for a different audience. And so if that different audience does not like it, do not give a shit about what Destiny content creators and their community have to say about it. They are the real grifters. So don't feel like your opinion is invalidated because someone said you don't like it. Well, oh well. Just tell them to fuck off and go back to Destiny 2 is what you need to do, because really this needs to slap beyond the Destiny niche, especially considering Destiny 2 itself is on a downward trend. So don't listen to people from a community of a dying game. Listen to people who are wanting to invest in a new game that isn't part of the Destiny community. I think that is a huge thing, because if a new game can't keep its legs up, then who the fuck cares about the hype and excitement? Which, it's funny, this actually has a lot more positive likes than the previous videos that they put out for Marathon. Though it is kind of funny. 13K likes is about as many people that were playing Destiny 2 a month ago on Steam. So I wouldn't be too excited that we're really popping off here. But let's see what this is all about. Let's give it a good run through, and let's get my reaction to it. Like I said, I did play it. I was not sold on it, at all. Let's see if the Vidoc changes my opinion.
Players want more challenge. The whole point of an extraction shooter is that you're challenged to even survive in this world.
We heard loud and clear from the alpha, the world didn't feel dangerous. The world didn't feel lived in.
Tau City 4 to us is this place that really doesn't want you there. And that sort of survival narrative really fits really well with the kind of world that we're creating.
All right, they've mentioned it, so this shouldn't be breaking NDA. It was fucking hard. When they said that they made the world harder, they did. And this is another thing that I didn't want to say back in the day. But now that they've mentioned that they made it harder, they did. They made it harder. Here's the thing. People who are in love with a looter shooter are not going to like this, because you're going to lose your loot over and over and over and over again. That is what an extraction shooter is at its heart. And I think people are so desperate to have a different game that they're thinking that Marathon is that different game. And unlike Arc Raiders, maybe they'll have the solo experience will be nice chuds who will be like, hey, you know what? We're fine. But it is very unrelenting. It's very unrelenting. I would say the difficulty level is is up there with a normal extraction shooter, which is going to turn off a lot of people.
The world needs to feel like there is something sinister underneath the surface, even when the colors are really bright.
You should not be here.
We want to marry the classic Bungie game feel, where you are blasting stuff in the face and it feels amazing, with the sort of high tension of the survival genre.
If you want good loot, you have to go to places where you're taking risks, either risks from other players or risks from AI.
So we have all these tools now, Rook with Prox Chat and the way the game works and sort of how
Isn't it funny how they fought tooth and nail not to add Prox Chat? And now they're like, guys, we've got Prox Chat. Buy our shit. That's another thing I would not be excited for Marathon, is because a lot of the shit that they're adding is stuff that you have to brute force. They were not going to add it. Even the creators that played it were like, we told them, and they didn't listen. Okay, yeah, that puts a lot of faith in this company and this team.
intense it is. I think all those things work together really well.
You have another Rook. Come on, stop that. No. Sorry.
Marathon. I do want to just say in general, if the gameplay did not change at barely much, like if you did not like the gameplay, forget the art. If you did not like the gameplay of Marathon, I don't think your opinion's going to change. Let's just get that right through the door, right? I think a lot of people don't want to talk about it, but let's talk about Elephant. If you do not like the gameplay, that's not changing. As you can see clearly, the gameplay is still the same it was in alpha. It may have little bits and things added and changed, but at its core, it's the same.
The Marathon ship is essentially a ship that we sent out from Earth, an Earth that was overpopulated, to explore and colonize a star far away that we call Tau Ceti. In a lot of ways, it's like the tale of humanity trying to go out into the dark void of space, find a place to colonize, and failing terribly at it.
Everyone's gone, something catastrophic happened, and it's not just their absence that's important, it's the things that they left behind.
The modern race to Tau Ceti all started when a mysterious signal came through the galaxy.
The turmoil that sort of ensues gives rise to all these corporations that were invested in this Marathon project, now going, what happened? How do we recoup our investment?
And then layered on top of that is the greed and corruption of all of the different factions and corporations and revolutionary groups.
In our version of the world, we send people out not just to discover what happened, but also to collect from the things that remain there, and those people are runners.
All I can say is it's NDA'd. Expect the story to be a typical extraction shooter story. That's all I can say.
As a runner, you're a biocybernetic mercenary who's traded their human body for a biosynthetic one.
You're not an unkillable godslayer. You are a mercenary, a disposable mercenary. You will live, you will die.
They are not people. You are the person. You go into that shell and adopt the personality matrix that is specifically designed to help you do the thing that you need to do.
I think one of the biggest things that's going to piss people off is invisibility and wall hacks. I think it's one of the most broken things to have in an extraction shooter. I think it goes to show that Bungie does not know an extraction shooter, what it means. I think the moment people start getting killed by an invisible bitch and have all their loot lost, they're going to start hating this game.
And you've been hired by these factions to come to Tau Ceti to scavenge it for anything that might be of value.
As a runner, you've left your body behind. You've traveled light years so that you can have access to the ultimate payday.
With extraction shooters, it is all about survival. There are other people who want the same things that you want, and it's up to you to best them.
But there's quiet periods where you're listening for the anticipation of something. Could there be another crew in the distance? Did I just hear a gunshot?
The Roblox guns are killing me, man.
Did I hear AI just alert?
Like I said, I can't tell which ones I dislike the most. Arc Raider weapons or Marathon in their Roblox guns.
And then there's the loud, bombastic action moments where the minute something is alerted, the minute you're in that fight, now it's go time. Players particularly pose a lot of danger to you. They can make a lot of decisions that you might find illogical and completely trick you into scenarios. Sometimes the best loot box is another player that you...
It's still awful, man. This UI is just so awful. It's like you're looking at Roblox menu, man. What is this?
You see along the run. So there's a few different ways you can play the game. So one of them is you can play in crew, both with your friends and also through crew fill, which will just match you with 2 other players. You can play solo, and you're jumping in a game with a bunch of other solo players.
Wow, they did solo? Man, it's almost like every other game that's come out has a solo option too. Crazy.
Players.
In solo, I think the stakes are a bit higher, right? You have only yourself to rely on.
You still have proc strat, so you can call out to other solos, but you are playing a tense alliance game where it's really up to them whether or not they decide to honor or respect that alliance you might have created.
It's all about figuring out what's your investment, what's your stake, when to get in, when to get out, and when to kill the other guy. Being good at Marathon is like playing poker with guns.
Yeah, you've got to know whether you wasted $40 or not, so you gotta gamble.
One of the things we've really focused on is making sure the environments are selling the tone we want to hit with the game.
We've brought a little bit of groundedness, a little bit of grit, a little bit of darkness, a little bit of that mood that kind of is necessary for an extraction shooter to feel dangerous.
Our biggest goal has always been player immersion.
They learned something.
We're trying to keep everything as believable and realistic as possible.
So we cranked up all the material responses, feel accurate, feel realistic. You'll get gloss, you'll get crud and mud. And no one of those things is all that sexy, but when you layer in just a little bit more, responsive to light, a little bit more responsive to the player, things will part, water will pool, layer.
Attention to detail, but here's the thing. Is this the detail people wanted? Is this the detail people give a shit about? Is like, oh, you leave footprints. Well, an extraction shooter, that's extra knowledge. So for the hyper competitive, the people that really want to get, into the dirt, well, you can actually get in the dirt.
And all these different things, the world becomes much more alive. It feels like a real place. And then when you're feeling like a real place and you feel in danger, now your run matters.
I look back at some of the alpha shots, and it's kind of hard to tell when it's sunny or when it's rainy. Weather feels like weather now. Like when it's sunny, you get this really nice bleaching effect. It feels bright. It feels like warm when it's sunny now. I feel like we're just celebrating that color so much more. I think it just contributes to the whole effect.
So we have dead bodies in the game now. We also have...
We have dead bodies, guys! We've got dead bodies! That's what you want in your $40 game. Dead bodies, guys.
Hey, on the runners themselves, you'll actually see them fall apart. We're actually dropping the body stays there, and the body slowly decays over time as you loot it.
So you come into a room.
But why? The whole point of an extraction shooter is the unknown. The body should have stayed in the first place, but part of it is wondering, how long ago did this person die? Oh shit, there's someone around. It's that tension, but if you know that they're almost faded away, oh, well, they're long gone now. That kind of defeats the purpose of the extraction shooter. It removes the tension. This is not as cool as people who love cues will love it. But I think from an extraction point, that kind of kills the suspense.
When you see a bunch of carnage, but you see one body is still pristine, you know that their killer is probably close, and you are not safe. If everybody is just a messy goop.
I guess that's true. The backwards of it is true. But again, what if all the bodies were fresh? Then you're always on high alert. guys, you don't like it. That again, the suspension of whether they're here or here, like you know immediately if a body's fresh. Okay, they're close.
You're probably okay.
Audio is a huge gameplay component in Marathon. Every sound plays a function.
I have nothing negative to say about the audio. I can't say anything specifically because I'm still under NDA. But I will say, well done.
Footsteps tell players everything. It's telling you what is the type of threat that's around you. Where are they at? Are they above you? Are they far away? Are they close by? So if I'm in bioresearch and I hear a particular material type, I know, hey, they're on the second floor and they're in this room. Our hero is...
Like I said, I have nothing negative to say about the audio. I think your pro-typical extraction shooter, Andy, will be in love with Marathon audio.
The world. So we're constantly trying to figure out where can music help reinforce what is the vibe and intent of this place.
There was the discussion about the interaction between score and sound design. And I wanted to create a score that wasn't just like full of instruments you've heard before. The job was, how can I make what I'm seeing, this race to survival, even...
Why does he look like a knockoff Temu version of the guy who plays in Jackass? The main guy, I forgot what his name is. Why does he look like a Temu version of him?
Even more nervous and even more terrifying or even more thrilling.
We have 4 zones, and each one of those zones has its own sort of approach to kind of level design and what it asks players to kind of think about and do. You're going to start with perimeter. You're kind of on the outskirts of the colony. It's a little more spread out. You got a little bit more areas to be safe and to sneak around, but it's also a little more straightforward.
It really brings this sense of scale. It sits like in our fantasy as expansion site for the colony on the very edges of where they had settled on Tau Ceti. UESC are also there trying to understand what has happened and secure the area. Death is a part of Marathon. It happens a lot, even on perimeter, which we talk about as a more friendly zone to new runners. You are still gonna die a lot.
I can neither confirm nor deny.
Factions to come to Tau Ceti to scavenge it for
God
anything.
damn it. I fat fingered the wrong thing. Yeah, I can neither confirm nor deny.
You're kind of on the outskirts
I can
of the
neither
colony.
confirm,
It's a
deny.
little more spread out. You got a little bit more areas to be safe and to sneak around, but it's also a little more straightforward.
It really brings this sense of scale. It sits like in our fantasy as expansion site for the colony on the very edges of where they had settled on Tau Ceti. UESC are also there trying to understand what has happened and secure the...
I can't break NDA, but I just want to know, I like watching this Vidoc is giving me PTSD for multiple reasons. If I wish I could talk about it, but damn, I get PTSD with some of the shots they're doing.
Area. Death is a part of Marathon. It happens a lot, even on perimeter, which we talk about as a more friendly zone to new runners. You are still gonna die a lot.
Attention, unauthorized runner. You are trespassing in a military security zone.
It was really important to us that the UESC were not trivial to fight.
When you face them on Tau Ceti as a runner, you are the outlaw. You are trespassing.
They have a little bit of this haunted tone. So you can see they have this floating locomotion. They get these sparks. They have these sigils over their faces. Sometimes
I will say, fuck those guys.
their behavior feels almost like they're possessed a little bit. Like, are they taking in commands from a remote AI? The elite tier is sort of like this dark blue. The mini boss tier is more like a lilac. The boss tier is just going to be dipped in red.
They have these tendrils that latch out and leech onto you and start sucking away at your consciousness.
That's all I gotta say about those guys and that whole situation.
Marsh, you're starting to understand something bad happened here, and you're seeing signs of that in a way that wasn't apparent on perimeter.
On Dire Marsh, we've got the anomaly, and it's this strange alien entity that has erupted up out of the ground.
You're really feeling signs that this is more of an epicenter of where things went wrong on this colony.
It's got a different style of gameplay. It's more like a central complex that is rich with overlapping areas and regions that you can find yourself kind of bleeding from one encounter to another.
It's a great map to go in when you just want some action, and you're gonna need somewhere to farm.
Each map has different weather systems, it has different dynamic events that can happen, and your approach to them is never going to be consistent.
One of the needs that the design team thought that we should have is more challenging PvE activities.
Each of our zones has these bigger events that don't happen every session, but when they do happen, you'll know they're happening.
Building these types of events into the world shake up your run and make you decide, like, what do you want to risk?
Then you get to Outpost. An Outpost is a more functional, thriving UESC facility. There's scan drones flying overhead, the UESC's everywhere, there's tripwires, there's a weather hazards. It's a lot of stuff you're up against from the get-go.
Outpost is a smaller map, but it's also a lot more vertical.
There's a lot I can't say, so just know I'm using I'm flipping off my words instead of saying them.
It's built around a specific building that we call the pinwheel.
This is just this meat grinder of a structure that's like a corkscrewed building that has nooks and crannies and hallways, and it just becomes a real cluster when you're in there fighting.
The floor is raised on Outpost and nothing is free. The pinwheel hosts some of the best loot opportunities.
But it's noisy, players are going to know you're doing it, so there's extra risks.
I know exactly what they're talking about. There is definitely high risk, high reward. That's all I can say. Is like there is moments, like there's objectives, like they said in the video. Yeah.
The character you're going to spend the most time with is the zones. Understanding each personality of every zone. That's the storytelling every player gets.
Every time you're on the planet, you can look up and see the ship floating and looming in the skybox, reminding you of why this place even exists, but also reminding you that something up happened here, and you got to figure out what it was.
Marathon has a lot of loot in it. It's a huge pie. There's a ton of different implants at every rarity. There's a ton of different runner cores. For each runner, there's over 400 weapon mods.
There is some fucking broken mods. That's all I can say is there's some fucking broken mods.
It's just an outlandish number of items to collect.
There's going to be a really interesting period of discoverability where players sort of figure out what are the pieces that I have available to me, how do I get them, and how do I put them together into something that's awesome.
You can go.
There's certain weapons that immediately stood out that I can't talk about, but I think it's going to be very obvious what's going to work and what's not going to work. I did have some criticisms for some certain weapons that I did want to give feedback on the Discord. Unfortunately, I never did. But there are some very standout weapons. You're just going to know what the meta is incredibly fast.
Go through and look at how many iconic weapons have come from Bungie. And it's something that we really want to hold up and make sure that we're matching that legacy.
Visually, they're all really, really distinct and clearly Marathon, but we wanted animation-wise a majority of them to feel recognizable. So when you put them in your hands, you knew how to use them.
Mods will basically allow you to increase certain stats on the guns, that battery SMG. The gold mod, full-blown, turns it into the knee lift. The sidearm is a gun.
Guys, we're just gonna take the ideas from a game that people who no longer work here anymore actually made. Sure, you know what? Let's try to get people hyped up for another The Needler 2.0.
That is effective.
That is funny. They made Marathon first and then Halo, and now they're trying to make Marathon with Halo-like stuff.
In close quarters, but maybe not too much outside of that. But the gold mod on this gun.
Pay attention to that. Pay attention to that gun there. Pay attention to it. You saw how that person struggled? Yeah.
And puts a suppressor on it. And then when I kill something with this gun, I turn invisible. And then that lends it to...
Bro. That's going to be so fucking annoying. This should not be in a fucking extraction shooter.
To other build crafting if I want to.
Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Stack into how invisible can I be?
Even some weapon mods can improve stats and your runner shell's capabilities. So there's lots of different ways to raise the floor of your stats so that you're coming into each run strong.
I think the abilities is going to kill it for a lot of people, especially extraction Andes. They never escape the Apex Legends vibe. It's still very inherent and very part of Marathon. Like, it feels like it should have just been an Apex Legends like style, battle royale.
Runner shells are a bioprinted body that you inhabit when you go down to Tau Ceti to scavenge the ruins of the Lost Colony.
Yeah, you've said this before.
Each of our launch shells is really an archetype of gameplay. So if you want to play like a...
The store is the first fucking thing on the top. That's fucking hilarious, bro. Why is the store the first fucking thing?
Lost Colony. Each of our launch shells is really an archetype of gameplay. So if you want to play like a frontline tank, if you want to play a rat character that wants to sneak around, if you want to find those rats, we have a shell for you.
I mean, none of it's good, to be honest. Like, this is not an extraction shooter. This is a hero shooter.
Have a broad spectrum that everyone can kind of find a little bit of a home to, and then we're going to build on top of that.
Cores and implants mold the kit into a playstyle that you want.
So examples of those are like, on Thief, I get a second grapple. On Destroyer, I pull out my Riot Barricade, and as it takes damage, it's actually converting that damage into shield back to me.
And these can be used in combination with each other to shift the gameplay style of your runner kit.
At any point...
That's if you survive long enough to build a kit that isn't just immediately stolen from you. See, this is the thing. They're trying to make this into like a hero shooter / Apex Legends style. You build into your kit and your abilities, but then if you die, you lose all of it. So it's like, when that starts happening, people will be pissed.
You feel like you don't want to risk anything, or maybe you're down on your...
And I know Arc Raiders does that, but Arc Raider doesn't have ability kits. It's just the guns and the shit that you do, right? It's not the same.
Luck and you want the opportunity to get back, Rook's your guy.
Rook is a prototype runner shell.
It's a mode where we make it easy for you to just kind of drop into a match that's in progress and run about and try to scavenge as much as possible.
For people who want to know, I played Rook. This is the scav of Tarkov, right? Except it's their version of the scav, and it is, they're showing you what you can do. And there was times where I would come, right like this right here. What you see is what would happen to me. And that's as much as I can talk about because anything else might be breaking NDA. But what you see is what I got.
If you are going in solo to a run that's already in progress, you don't have a team, you have a very limited loadout, but you're not risking anything. This lets you kind of get in, grab a little bit of loot.
Similar to Arc Raiders. It's similar to Arc Raiders in that regard.
So when you get like a really powerful gun or implant or core, it is unlocking some new space or new challenge that you've never done before, and the loot is helping you reach greater heights.
Faction agents are such a big vehicle for tone and narrative for the world.
Each faction has their own motivations, their own desires, the things they're going to ask you to do.
We've got Traxxas. They're the most powerful corporation in human history. They have very long arms and very deep pockets to kind of get what they want.
So they might ask you to go and find specific weapons or mods.
Congratulations, runner.
I can't talk about any of this, so.
Evaluation was rated on track.
Outside of the fact that it is like Tarkov has this, Arc Raiders has this. My general standpoint is nothing I saw in Marathon really went over the top, right? That's all I'll say.
If you're a PvP player, one of the factions is called Arachne. They're essentially a death cult. What that translates to is that they're asking you to go and kill other runners.
The sacred thermodynamics of violence.
MIDA is all about destruction. They are going to give you grenades, they're going to give you claymores, they're going to let you blow the place up.
And they are irreverent and dangerous. They might ask you to upload this malware into a UESC dropship, and as it leaves, it explodes and careens off into the distance.
We have big plans. Explosive, visionary.
Each of our factions.
I didn't know MIDA was going to be the edgelords of Marathon, but here we are.
Has an upgrade tree that you unlock progressively as you gain reputation with them.
And along the way, you're going to unlock these capstones that are these special upgrades. When you unlock that final capstone, you're gaining access to the best stuff in the market. You're getting gold items.
In addition, these faction upgrades can increase your runner's base stats, and those stat upgrades are permanent for the rest of the season.
That is something that's going to piss people off, that they're going to put all this work and effort and then all their stuff is going to be wiped. I cannot wait for people to come to the realization when all their stuff is wiped away, people are going to lose their fucking mind. Welcome to an attraction shooter. Welcome.
Access denied.
Darius, you know me. Did you miss your last round of maintenance?
Don't search. Don't tick. Don't question.
Darius?
Access denied.
Hey,
Access
it's
denied.
okay. It's just me.
You're not alone.
The Codex is a suite of achievements, collectibles, audio logs, things that you're finding in Run that we're going to track for you over time. The more you find these items, the more story you're unlocking about them and what their role is in the world, why they're here, who cared about them, why they're as valuable as they are.
I'm repeating myself with these entries, but any fears inherent in the scope of this endeavor seem unfounded.
Within the Codex, there's a whole bunch of stuff that you can unlock. Runner skins, weapon charms, stickers, emblems.
Dude, the customization is so fucking ass. It's so bad. It's like you can barely fucking notice. It's so fucking bad. Holy shit. Oh, it's so fucking bad.
Backgrounds for your profile.
I grill people for buying stuff in Destiny and calling them shills, but I just want you to know, if you buy stuff from Marathon and it barely changes it, you're a retard.
File and type.
$15 for blue?
So it's everything from your first steps on the world of Tau City 4 all the way through to becoming a Vidmaster and taking on the most extreme challenges.
The Marathon ship is the hardest place to survive in this.
I will say that I don't think anyone's played this map yet, except for like the very hands-on people that were hush-hush before the alpha. Like, I don't think very many people actually got to play this map.
Game. And if you're not ready to take your best stuff, well, you're not going to survive.
This is essentially the labs for Tarkov. Labs is like the most hardcore location. And I think that's what this is supposed to be, based on what people have said.
It's like a heist for a runner. Cryo Archive is big in and of itself, but it's also cold. It's also hostile.
It's going to test every aspect of the survival game. Probably going to be forced to run to players in ways you haven't been on other maps. You're going to run into basically every type of environmental threat you have faced before. You're going to fight a who's who of the highest tier UESC units, and the UESC are there in this presence you haven't seen before.
It's really cool because each of the vaults is more successively challenging than the next. And that 7th vault is where you both are going to get the coolest thing, but also where you're going to learn the most about what happened to this place.
At some point in your journey in Cryo Archive, you might start wondering if the UESC are there to keep you out or if they're actually there to keep something else in.
I know these are supposed to be the big guys of like the Marathon story. It'd be interesting. Like I'm gonna guess and say that this is gonna be a boss fight or something.
Nice.
I think the thing that I'm most excited about for Marathon is getting into the hands of our players.
Compiler. It's a compiler. Where's the pussy? That's the one thing I want. Where's the pussy at? We've yet to see the fucking pussy anywhere.
The biggest thing I want people to take away from Marathon is that it still feels amazing. It still feels like it has that spark.
It takes all the aspects that I think Bungie is really good at. First-person feel and gunplay, the super deep, crazy sci-fi lore, and it mixes up all those things together in a really amazing PvP package.
Really comes down to every single discipline that's working on the game. The animation has to be good, the sound has to be good, everything has to be working in harmony.
That's when the controller fades away, the screen fades away, you're just immersed in the world.
That is what we're trying to live up to with
the last person you want in your fucking Vidoc is the studio head, the dude that says not to over-deliver. Don't over-deliver, you're setting patterns, dude, is the last fucking guy you want on in literally showcasing his face and mug in the video.
Marathon.
It is a mad dash. I'm not going to front about that. It's a mad dash to the finish, but that's when you got to put in the elbow grease and the extra sweat and blood it takes to get this done.
Dude, what is this? What is it?
Let's go.
5 people in the extract.
It's kind of funny because it's like, yeah, Bungie, those are your employees. Interesting. 5 guys. 5 guys? It's almost like we scripted this. Did you read the script, Timmy? I think the Vidoc was the best approach, by the way. I think this is, if I was going to talk about presentation, this is how you get people to buy your game. Like, this is how the launch should have been. And I'll be honest, I think it would have been received well. The couple dudes on the couch acting like the massive gaming industry is your bro was never going to work for Bungie. Their negative reputation has not earned them the bro moments with the gaming industry. Like, yeah, let's chill at our couch and have a good old time and talk about what we like about it. And no one gives a fuck about what you want. It's what the gaming industry wants. But overall, again, I don't, there's a lot of bells and whistles that I have not seen. I think there's still a lot of some overarching issues that are still in the game that Bungie has not and probably won't change. But I think the bigger issue for most of the gaming industry is that why would you ever play this over Arc Raiders? Outside of it being first-person shooter, which is very appealing to people, but I don't know, man. It will be interesting. I guarantee people like Shroud and the Burnt Peanut and all of them will jump over and play it and see what they can get out of it. I just don't think it will have the strength and pull as Arc Raiders because, again, I also was negative about Arc Raiders when I played it, and the experience is not the same. But I do think that the Destiny community that is like LARPing for Marathon is going to have a rude awakening when they actually play it because it's not baby's first extraction shooter anymore. And that's what it looked like and how it seemed it played. As someone who played it, it's definitely not baby's first extraction shooter. At least the in difficulty, it did not feel that way, which is a notable tip to the hat that you need to beat it to be competitive with every other extraction shooter. You need to have that suspense. You need to have that difficulty, and I think they have done that. But that's my thoughts. Overall, I mean, it's getting positive. I think Vidoc was the way to go. Just, yeah, we'll see. I think the bigger gaming industry, like the gaming community, will determine the value. And I've seen a lot of pluses from the Destiny community and a lot of negative from people who aren't from the Destiny community. And I think that's the part of where we want to keep our eyes out. I'm more interested to see how things play out with the open play test. And I think they need to do that sooner rather than later to get people, invested or to give a shit about spending $40 on this. We'll see. I'm Mr. Gaming Counselor. Let me know what you think. As always, I'll